you like love? Are you a night owl? Then Late Night Love is a place for you. Since life is negative enough, here we discuss everything love. What we love, who we love, and why we love. So join us on Saturday nights at 11:30 p.m. Pacific Time, and please remember, love it.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us on another excursion through the stream of consciousness towards the river of love.
Yay! You did it!
I got one right. Whoa, this chair is broken. Anyway, like I said, we got to solve chair problems. Anyway, thank you, everybody, for joining us. It's been I don't know, considering how the last few months have gone, it's been a calm week. All things considered. And I think we all kind of appreciate that. I mean, it's like the world hasn't been calm, but it's just to tell you how unsettling the world has been in the last few months, that we actually view this last week as calm. And so it's just an interesting time. So I just thought it was interesting that we actually can view this as calm. But we're going to start right here.
We did. We had a mellow week.
It was not just us. I think kind of the whole country and the whole world. I don't know if necessarily the whole world, but the whole country had a bit of a mellow week this week, and I think that's nice. But we are going to start here with a discussion about Baby Yoda. There's a meme popped around. It tells you how I think you watched The Mandalorian. I don't watch much TV.
I watched Mandalorian, and I looked at the meme you're talking about, and I've watched the episode.
Okay, so the meme is on the screen. It's for those of you on the podcast. Lucasfilm is in trouble because Baby Yoda ate eggs of a endangered species. But of course, we all have to remember, and I think some people have seemed to have forgotten, this is a fictional galaxy and a fictional universe a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And why are we all upset that a fictional character in a movie ate an egg?
Well, he didn't just eat one egg, and she was the last of her species, and she was going to get her eggs fertilized by her husband, who had been working on some Ecuadorian moon. I don't know if I have that name right, but, slaving away, trying to make a better life for them. And she was going with the last of her eggs. And she started out with about 20 of them. And as we're not over yet, there's going to be a part 2. And part 1, they were like half. And so I don't know. It's like, are there going to be any eggs left? And the first one, you see it happen. And first, like, oh my God.
No, I get.
But Baby Yoda eats everything.
No, that's fine. Actually, the emotional reaction, that just means you're telling a good story. The fact that you get an emotional reaction to it, that means the storyteller is doing a good job, that you have an emotional reaction. But that you carry that emotional reaction onto Twitter and social media and throw up a big cow and want to cancel Lucasfilms and Baby Yoda.
Cancel Lucasfilms. Yeah. What are you talking about?
Yeah, these people have got all they're offended by a fictional character eating fictional eggs.
From an endangered species.
From an endangered, well, except it's not an endangered species. It's a fictional world. No, I get the emotion. So it's a good storytelling. So I think it's great that we've actually have some art. Actual art has emerged in the world. We've been so much of media recently has been essentially propaganda.
It's Mandalorian. It's a great show.
And so we actually have some art into the world that people can have emotional reactions and wide variety of emotional reactions and room for discussion. I actually think it's great. I'm not partaking in it because I don't have time right now. But I actually think it's great. I think good art is a good thing. It's needed. And the fact that people have this initial emotional reaction to it I think is good. But are we emotional children where we carry that out past the TV show? I don't mean sitting there talking amongst your friends and having good banter and getting your emotional out, but I mean actual raging against the people who make it, and actual raging that they've actually committed some kind of actual crime or something. these people we're emotional children. We've raised a generation of people who have not matured emotionally.
Well, these are, I think, are extremists, for one thing.
Well,
And I don't, how many people are there that are doing this?
Well, it's significant enough, or at least there's people with significant enough voices doing it, loud enough voices doing it, that it's an actual thing.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, Lucasfilm's.
I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around that.
Lucasfilm's had to defend themselves to the media over this thing.
Oh my gosh.
And it's not that you have to come out and say, hey, we appreciate their fans are enjoying the movie, enjoying our show, and have gotten emotionally involved. We appreciate your emotional involvement. That's cool. I actually think that's cool that so many people got so deeply emotionally involved, that they have a genuine emotional attachment to what's going on. I don't actually have a problem with that, but we seem to lost something where that's become part of your life, not just part of your entertainment life, part of something that fulfills you, but you genuinely rage against it. If you're genuinely raging against a fictional character in a galaxy far, far away eating eggs that we assume are the last, just because someone says it's the last of their species in the Star Wars universe doesn't mean they're the last of their species. You could have a whole colony of their species on some planet in the in the dark area, or in one of those places where they don't discover, God, they do it all the time. People aren't actually gone or. So my point.
It's fiction.
That's the whole point. You can
I don't get the rage.
They rewrite.
It's fiction.
They rewrite these things all the time, and so it's.
And so wait a minute. So people are mad at an idea.
Apparently, that happens in nature all the time. Nature doesn't care if you're the last of your species. If it wants your eggs and it can get them, they're going to eat them. That's just the way nature works. Nature's a cruel mistress. It doesn't care about your emotions. If the predator's hungry and you're there, you're food. It doesn't take, that's the last of its kind. I probably shouldn't eat it. I'm hungry. I'm eating it. That's what the wolf does. That's what the bear does. They just eat. They don't contemplate. They don't plan. They don't plan for next year's crops. They don't plan to say, we got to save 10% of our seed so we can plant it next year. They just eat. They're like locusts. Locusts eat until they all die. Until they can't have any more food. They're kind of mindless. Luckily, most animals can't do that. We, as humans, realizing, hey, we can actually eat ourselves dead. One of the few creatures who realize that we can actually eat ourselves dead, we probably shouldn't do that. We should plan. Anyway, I just think that it's very strange how we have so many people who are emotionally immature that they can't separate those two emotions, the real life emotions and the emotions from the fictional world. I think it's good to have them. It's good to have that kind of connection to good art. In one sense, I'm pleased that there's actually some art out there that is genuinely that good that people are having this kind of emotional reaction to. And we haven't seen it in a long time. So, in that respect, I find it heartwarming in a sense. It's a strange word, but I do. I find it hopeful that there is some real art out there still. But at the same time, we've got this group of people who are emotional children. They're adults, but they're still 10 years old. We talk about how I'm 12, but that's a joke. I'm not really 12. It's a joke. It's kind of,
your humor is a 12-year-old at 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, my God.
Yeah, but it's the running gag. It's part of the joke. It's part of my character. But I'm not actually 12 when I'm not actually getting upset at the Mandalorian and running around getting raging and having it ruin my day. That's just because he ate an egg. I
don't get it either, babe.
But maybe that kind of segues into our next segment here. We're talking about friendships and the people you hang around with, and how do you choose your friends, and how do you know who your true friends are? And we actually recorded a daily dose of this, and I think I want to do it again now that I've had some time to contemplate. But it is what it is. We'll do it later. We'll have a redo of it in a few weeks. But it's, how do you choose your friends? How do you know who your friends are? And I guess it's who wants those around you, who wants you to be a better you.
They want the best for you.
Yeah, generally. Doesn't necessarily mean what you necessarily tell you what you want to hear, but they'll tell you what you need to hear. And who will be genuinely happy for you when you have a success that supersedes them. They don't care about them. They care about you. People you can talk to. You don't have to worry about what the reaction is going to be.
People who are happy for you.
Yeah, don't always deflect. Don't make the conversations about them. That allow you to grow into the better you, to become help you become the non-emotional child. Help you say, one person will come up to you and say, hey, you're flipping out over this Mandalorian thing. Maybe you should get a grip. Maybe we should understand that, it's a TV show and it's good to have that emotional connection to it, but you've gone off the deep end. You need to do some introspection. What's really bothering you? Your true friend will tell you that. And you can also go to a true friend and you can tell them, hey, you've gone off the deep end. And so that's who your true friends are. It's not just, as I think we talked about earlier, it's not just the people who will be for you there at 3 a.m. It's the people who will bail you out at 3 a.m. and then give you the long lecture that you need to hear about what the hell am I having to bail you out again? And kind of set your mind straight. Those people who actually help you become the better you need to be. That's actually good for you. But they do it not in a controlling way. They do it because you respect them and you honor them. And you honor that they're willing to tell you the truth and that you can tell them anything. Can you tell them bad news? And that they're actually going to be there to listen to your bad news and not deflect it and make it about them or somebody they knew. Can you tell them good news and they're going to be happy for you and go out and celebrate for you and not, try to bring you down to that level because they're don't feel good about themselves and so they're not happy that you've become more successful. Friendship is a strange beast. And choosing who your friends are, who you surround yourself with, and who you spend time with, who your emotional energy is invested in, is something you actually need to think about. And I don't think enough of us consider it.
Our friendships?
Yeah, I'm not sure we think about it enough. Generally think about what we want, what we need, not necessarily about an individual friend, about the type of people we actually want to be spending our time with. And for someone like me who, I spent so long locked in the house, it's, self-isolated. It's not, now that I can actually go out in the world again, you almost forget how to make friends. How do you do that at 45, 50 years old or whatever? I call it networking. That's just awful. That's the thought of that. I don't want to do that.
You don't want to do the superficial?
No. I don't got time for it. But at the same time, I've got no choice. And it's because nothing for me is superficial. And so in a sense,
it won't be.
Yes.
Yes.
But it also means it's exhausting. So, but it is what it is. We all have our cross to bear. And, I've chosen this path, and so we pick it. It's better than the others. It's better than the not doing this path. Which, speaking of doing this path, we have a Patreon page we've actually started. So if you guys would like to support us, you can go to Patreon/Late Night Love. And we've got 3 tiers currently set up, even though there's no description. You get at $3 a month, you get to chat with the Lovinator and a open chat, which is not quite set up. I'm still on the back end getting everything set up. We're learning how to do it, and we learn how to do things live around here. So, damn it, that's what I forgot to do. I forgot to post the link to the live thing on the Patreon page.
Uh-oh.
Well, that's what started me getting down that whole rabbit hole of AdSense and the Google things, and I got all frustrated and took 45 minutes to go to
45 minutes? I thought maybe you spent maybe 15 minutes on this.
No.
45, honey.
It was 45 minutes.
Good heavens.
It was a pain in the butt. But you know, it is what it is. You just have to get through it. But yeah,
you're so much more patient than I am. I get started down the rabbit hole and just forget it. I lost him. The rabbit's gone.
Trust me, I wasn't that patient. No one was here to hear it. So that's the
yes, I was visiting the grandkids.
You get to be an angel when no one's around to hear. Like when I was stuck out at when the car broke down out at I-5 and the highway patrolman came by and he drove me down to the gas station and get something to drink. They'd been out there for hours or whatever it was. And so we were just chatting about, venting frustrations or whatever. And I says, yeah, but it doesn't count if there's no one out there but the lizards to hear you. So, the lizards don't care. Lizards don't care if you yell out of frustration because your freaking cell phone keeps going in and out because you're right at the edge of whatever the hell tower it is. And you got to stand on a rock and talk like this if you want somebody to be able to hear you.
Is that what you were doing? Oh my
God. Because if I put it down here, it's disconnecting. Son of a...
Oh man, that was terrible. That was terrible. Just a little backstory. That was, you'd gone up to Oregon. You're gonna go for a quick trip to go see one of the youngins, and the car decided to break down. And so you were coming on the way back, and you're stuck by the side of the road on a turnoff. You and the lizards, me on the phone for hours trying to get a tow truck. It took hours.
It took hours. It was awful.
And when I finally got a hold of somebody who was competent, they called the highway patrol, and highway patrol came out and make sure you're doing okay out there.
Oh, you're the one that got all worked up. It wasn't actually me.
I was crying.
So I just want to point that one out. No, it was you that got all worked up. I was all right. It wasn't actually all that hot.
It was terrible.
And it wasn't all that long, so it's not like I was dying or anything. But it was. Those are the frustrating days. And then you're just waiting so dang long. The tow truck's coming, then it's not. And then there's another one coming, but like an hour.
And then that one fell through.
Yeah, it's like the third tow truck.
It was the third tow truck.
Yeah, good Lord. Well, it's because we're out in the middle of flipping nowhere. That's why no one had to go do it.
And one of them I scheduled, and he called me back. Oh, we need another $250. No.
Yeah, suckers. Anyway, we got them deactivated off their system now.
Yeah, we got them kicked off. Them being the insurance giving them referrals.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, because they were underhanded.
Underhanded to this. All right, so what we've got. So what? Oh, did we finish our friends conversation about choosing your friends? I guess we did.
I think we did. Yes.
Okay. So, wow, those Mandalorian and Friends discussions went faster than we got. So what you got over there?
Well, I found a article, 5 traits all unhappy marriages have in common and how to overcome them. I felt that was a positive spin on them. And I'll do a review here.
Okay.
And the first one, it says, grudge holders beware. They forgive but never forget. That's a big mistake. A tendency to never let go of a mistake or cutting comment your partner once made can signify a less than happy union, it says.
Yeah, you don't want to holding grudges. It's like keeping score.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to keep score in your relationship because then you're trying to win, and you're not trying to win. How do you win a marriage?
I thought you both reached the goal together.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you win a marriage.
You're both happy.
Yeah, and so I think that you've got the wrong mindset. It's not that necessarily that forgiving and not forgetting is one thing, but holding a grudge. You forgive people, but it doesn't necessarily mean you forget. Well, maybe after 10 years or something. But depending upon how you don't forget, you can't forget the history. It's not possible. So, this notion that you can forget it, it's just not possible. You can forgive, you can put it in its proper place. And over time, it can become less important. But holding the grudge, putting it on a chalkboard and making a mark is a bad idea, because then you're trying to win. The minute you start keeping score, you're trying to win.
That's what this says. Couples fight, that's a given, but how you resolve conflict is what counts most when it comes to the overall health of your courtship.
Yeah, you can't keep score. Keeping score, trying to win a relationship is fundamentally the wrong relationship. Do you want a defeated partner?
They suggest strive to be open to your partner's efforts to repair the damage. If you have a sensitive partner at all, they're going to, they know you're upset. They know.
You don't have to be sensitive. They know you're upset. Trust me. You don't have to be that sensitive. They just don't know what to do with it. That's the difference. We know. Even the dullest of men know when you're really upset. Even the thunderheadedest of us. We just don't know what to do with it. And so that's part of the problem. And instead of saying, I don't know what to do with this, can you help me figure this out?
What can I do? What can I do? I'm sorry I made a mistake.
Yeah, they get defensive, clam up, withdraw, all the various mistakes that we as humans, and men especially, tend to make in relationships.
Run and hide.
Yeah, because you don't know what to do with it. And, as men, you're kind of, especially in the modern world where everything is specialization, if you don't know what to do with it, you bring in somebody who does. Well, you can't bring in anybody who does, really, and bringing in, it's a strange thing. I mean, you can go to counseling, but that's a whole different mindset. It's a minefield of emotions. And I'd actually encourage people to go individual counseling. I actually think individual counseling is more important than marriage counseling, couples counseling, personally.
Well, the individual counseling would affect the
better human being you are, the better relationship you're going to be.
Affect your marriage. Yeah.
And if you're taking care of yourself, then you will be taking care of your relationship.
Right.
Yeah. I think if you're going to marriage counseling and you're not dealing with yourself, you're not dealing with the problem, you're dealing with the symptom. Ultimately, you have to deal with yourself. And so if you're going to both, if you've got everybody going to individual counseling and you're both going to a marriage counseling, man, you've got a rough ride. What the heck did you guys do? Or you're just very serious about not having problems, which then I guess is cool. More power to you.
Yeah, it's a preventative measure rather than waiting for problems to come up.
Yeah. If you're trying to set, how do we set?
You're setting good patterns. You want to set good patterns from the beginning.
Yeah, how do we set good patterns? How do we make good choices? How do we, especially if you've come from if either one of you has come from a troubled background, trauma and relationship issues, and you don't have a good model to follow, so you're essentially having to invent a model on the fly and try to unlearn everything your family or not having a family taught you. That's paths we don't talk about as a culture, as a society, as individuals. Is that my family was, maybe they were loving, but they were fundamentally dysfunctional, and I need to learn a new way to do it, but I don't know how, because all I've ever seen is dysfunction. Maybe not even abusive, just not functional.
Yeah, you usually don't learn that until after you've tried it. Hey, this doesn't work. What do I do now?
Well, you can see how it doesn't work. And if you're someone who's young but mindful, you can, a lot of the times what you do is you overcorrect, but that's because you don't seek help finding the true path. But it's hard. Life and relationships are hard because you've got to know what to carry on and know what to forget, know what to unlearn. And if you don't have the proper models, and society and our culture and our friend circles aren't willing to talk about it, how are we supposed to work our way through this? We're all alone in the dark. And that's not a good place to be. No one wants to be alone in the dark. All right, we're going to create our little short break here for our sponsor. And we're back. And just to remember, I know, I just had to create a break. And we're back. It's only 30 seconds, so we're back. We finished talking about Baby Yoda, our friends. You can help us on our journey if you want to go to our Patreon page and join the Patreon community as it grows, as we actually figure out how to do it. You can go to patreon.com/late-night-love, like everything else. And we'll create other ways where you can help if you don't want to use the Patreon service. So we're literally just starting that journey. Okay, so what else we got? We're talking about marriage.
Five traits all unhappy marriages have in common and how to overcome them. Okay, now this next, we talked about number 1. This is number 2. Now this is my favorite. They no longer say please and thank you. This is one of my something that I think is so important. Manners matter.
Yeah, but then I'm in trouble.
You tell me.
Not really. It's not a habitual to be saying please.
You say please and thank you.
I don't know. I think I'm in trouble on that one, but I think I do it differently. I don't think I use the exact word. I don't think I use the words please and thank you, but I do express my things. I think maybe
you express yourself.
Mm-hmm. Well, clearly, apparently I do, but I think that's actually one of my weaknesses, that I don't actually do that enough. If I were to pull out my relationship weaknesses, and it's not that I'm not thankful, and it's not that I, not asking. I think because I always ask kindly, and so I think maybe that suffices for please. You can, with tone and word choices, you don't necessarily technically have to say please to say please, and so maybe I get away with it that way.
When I need more, in fact, recently I asked about a certain task that I do. I do it kind of often, and it gets me down. And I asked for a thank you. If you could please give me a thank you, give me a little boost. I kind of need it. If you would please, I asked you for that. So I think if you need something more, if you need something, ask for it.
Yeah. Well, especially for me, because again, it's not that I'm not thankful for these things, but I don't think if there is a weakness, if there is a glaring weakness in my relationship repertoire, so to speak, I probably don't expressly say it enough. If I were to say, put on my introspection.
Okay. All right. All right. And the fix is it's really quite simple. Express gratitude for small efforts more often. And it's just a mindfulness.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe it's how we choose to express it. Maybe you just don't have to. Maybe I get hung up in the please and thank you part. Maybe it's being thankful and expressing that in a way that your partner can understand. Maybe the words don't have to be please and thank you. Maybe it just has to be clear enough to your partner that they understand what you're actually saying. And sometimes they need it more clearly. And sometimes, sometimes a inside joke is enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
You do a lot of, you use humor a lot, but you do that throughout our relationship.
Yeah.
That's it touches every single area of our relationship.
Yeah.
Which is I'm grateful for. I love that part of you.
Well, see, I'm happy for that because I can see how it would be really annoying. So I can see how it could be really annoying.
No.
So,
you call it my rose-colored glasses, but I still think you're the freaking funniest thing.
Well, all right, well, see, there we go. It's the rose-colored glasses.
Long time. And it's been 10 years.
They just work in my favor.
Hey, I was single for 10 years. I looked for you for 10 years.
They're thick glasses. That's all.
They're thick glasses. My Adonis.
Yeah, now we know they're thick glasses. You need some new prescriptions. All right, so the please and thank you. Make sure you show your gratitude. Make sure you show your thankfulness. I know this is going to be Thanksgiving week, so
yeah, let's take a break here and go to thankfulness.
And so it's a good segue for thankfulness. We'll come back to that, but
if we need to.
Yeah, it's a good time to express our thankfulness for not just your partners and your loved ones and your friends but for everything. During this time, we're thankful for our healthcare workers. We're thankful for those people who are trying to teach our children under difficult circumstances. We're thankful for the delivery people who are out there in a strange way doing a dangerous job. Not the dangers that it used to be. It's a different danger. It's a health danger. It used to be get worried about getting robbed or something, and now you're worried about catching a disease. It's a very different danger. I used to drive around a lot as a gig worker, and you worried about accidents and stuff. It's not that you're worried about being responsible for getting somebody sick. It's actually a different thing. And so I think, being thankful for all that we have, not just individually, but culturally. I mean, if you look in the last decades, literally billions of people have been lifted out of poverty. Abject poverty, truly abject poverty worldwide has declined. There's less, as a percentage, there's less people living in abject poverty in this world than there's ever been before. And I think we should all be thankful for things like that. We all look at the world and we see all the things wrong, but we often forget how far we've actually come. That, mass starvation used to be a thing. It's not anymore. When food supplies get short someplace, the world responds and sends food. And we have the ability to do it within days. Mass amounts of food to a place in days. That's a glorious thing. And it's the human spirit. We all do it. No one complains about the cost. Yeah, we do when budget time comes around and then tax time comes around. But in the emergency, no one cares. We all buckle down. We do what we need to do to cover genuine emergencies. And, how much of an emergency is an extended emergency is an open question. And I think we as a culture debate that. And we're not talking about that here, but as we have that conversation, be kind to your neighbors. Just because they have a different view on the world doesn't mean they're less human. They care less. Sadly, we talk about mental and emotional health, and I was reading articles, and more places are showing the doubling of the suicide rate. And if the number of suicides are doubling, what's that mean for the number of attempts, or the number of people who are in desperation? There was another article I read, I didn't bring it up, that the unreported deaths of despair in nursing homes, they're not COVID deaths. They've been isolated from their families for months, and they have no reason to live anymore. And so whose lives are we choosing? Are we choosing one first set of people's lives or another? I don't know. I don't have that answer. And sadly, we don't have that discussion. But we should be thankful that we are able to hold those who we can. We're able to communicate with those who we do. That we still have all that we have. We can all hunker down. We can all try to do our part. We can all argue and complain, but we will come out of this, and we will have to put our society and our culture back together. And if we don't maintain a foundation of love, it's going to have the opportunity to go wrong. And I think all of us have a moral obligation, to be more mindful, to be more loving, kindness, and compassion, especially now. Yeah. So, but on a little bit more upbeat, we're thankful for our friends, our families. I'm thankful for the love and support of generations of my family. We couldn't be doing what we're doing without that. We couldn't be on this journey. We couldn't have been on the journey that I was just on. I wouldn't be who I am. I'm thankful for the children, and all the paths that got us there. All the paths may not have been beautiful, but the end result is I have a beautiful children, beautiful grandchildren, an ever-growing family. Ever-growing. My family was diverse to begin with, and it's becoming even more diverse, and it's a beautiful thing. The extended families, the not families, I love them all, and I'm thankful for every minute that I have gotten to enjoy that and partake of that. And I am thankful for my lubby, with whom I get to share this strange, bizarre, never know where the heck we're going journey.
We have a direction-ish.
No. Well, yeah, we pick a direction, but it doesn't go where we think it's going, apparently, clearly.
Well, that's just life, baby. You got to roll with it.
Well, we're good at that, apparently, because who would have thought 5 years ago we'd end up here?
No.
2 years ago we ended up here.
No.
Yeah. And which reminds me, I'm thankful for those involved in my education that allows me to be here. Gail, Lee, Tony, Charles, Richard, John, all the guests we've had on my political TV show, the base talent, the base skills that I learned there extend to here. It's a different mindset. It's a different output, but it's the same training, the same base skills, and I couldn't have learned it. And I'm sad that we might not have access to our studio. But I was thankful for the opportunity to learn in it. It's going to be like a second home. It's like missing a second home. It's one of the few places. It's strange. I know we all talk about having anxiety disorder, And, the first time I walked into the TV studio, sat down at the desk behind all the lights, I sat down 15 minutes earlier, so just assuming I was going to have to get acclimated. And I was oddly calm. It may have been the least anxiety point I had ever been in my life. It's like the one place I had felt at home, kind of tearing up. Seriously, tearing up a little bit.
Oh, honey.
Because it was like a second home. It was like a home without knowing it. It's a strange place. So anyway, so what do you have to be thankful for this year, my love?
Well, first of all, my life with you. Every day is an adventure. Every day is a laugh. Every day is full of gentleness and kindness. I was single for 10 years. I prayed for a kind man, and that's what I got. That's all I cared about. I just wanted a kind man. I had nothing, money, physical stature, nothing, just kind. And you're the kindest man I know. Okay.
Well, see, now you make me cry. I told you all I cry at the drop of a hat. Y'all never believe me. I tear up at the drop of a hat. Okay, so
and all our children, all 8 of them.
Yeah, there's a boatload of them. It's like 8 is enough.
And they're all good people. How did that happen? That doesn't happen. All of them? They're all fantastic people and so blessed and healthy grandchildren. For heaven's sakes, who gets that? Who gets that? We get that, And I am thankful to the modern medicine of today and our healthcare workers that make all that possible. And I miss my friend. I have a very close friend that I used to go over to her house once a month and we'd get blotto. And I miss her. But I wanted to give a shout out to my friend. I'm not going to say her name because she knows who she is.
Yeah.
And but because of the virus and health situations, we haven't been able to meet. But we text and gosh, I miss her. And thankful for my friend. And I'm thankful for something that I'm thankful. Actually not thankful. I wanted to mention the people that are not able to meet with family, and especially our soldiers. So far away from home.
Which gives us a moment to shout out to Justin, who's kind of one of those family members who's not family. I think I wanted to, as a veteran like yourself, we want to thank our veterans. But he's a good...
I was peacetime only. Justin's the real deal.
Yeah, Justin was. Yeah, he was in Iraq, but it's a shout out to be thankful that he was able to come home and settle his problems and become the young man he's becoming. I think, it wasn't always a written thing, and so we're thankful he got on the path he's on.
Yes.
Another
blessing.
Honored to be part of that. I think it's, we all touch people's lives in many ways, and we don't know the ripples that we cause. And so we try to make positive ripples in the world. I think is what we've been trying to do for a decade now in my life. And our children are gone and they're grown. And you know what? In a sense, it almost seems natural for us to be doing this. If you kind of think,
I hadn't thought about that.
I hadn't thought about that either. So kind of seems to be natural for us to be doing this. Oh crap, we've had comments and I haven't even been. Oh, Gail. Do I need glasses? I need cataract surgery, Gail. So
we were talking about being thankful. So this is it's a
it's a natural progression.
Doing this, yes.
The late night love. We no longer have our children, but we became good at spreading love, and so we take it to the world. You know, we no longer have children to raise, so now we can go raise the world.
Go raise the world.
Okay, that's a little
gentle reminders.
But I got great hair, so you know we can do it.
You got great hair. Well, you get the attention, yes. And then we deliver the message.
Speaking of getting attention and delivering a message, I'm going to deliver a message to you that was passed to me. She said that someone told us, the little bird told me that we would increase our views by a lot if little Miss Cute over here was on camera. But I'm not saying this, I'm just passing the message.
I'm on camera.
Say hi.
Hi.
Mm.
Peace.
I said we were lucky to get you on microphone. So.
I know who you're talking about. And that's what happens when you make personal appearances like that. People want to see you all the time. I cannot be camera ready on a Saturday night.
It's not the only person who's said something, by the way. Just to let you know.
I know eventually.
Spider.
I have been.
Spider.
It's just a spider. Let it go.
No way, man.
Oh, you killed it. That could have been my great aunt.
Well, she can reincarnate to an elephant now, and I won't be able to kill her. So, because you don't care about the spider, because they don't crawl on you while you're working. So,
no,
I'm the one who has to work out here.
But to respond to your comment,
mm-hmm.
I know that's coming.
No, it's not coming. I mean, maybe on the Patreon stuff, on once a month, we get you on camera but nothing really public. I would never ask you to.
Okay.
Now, I may tell you that it would be better for the show, the live shows, if you did, but I wouldn't ask you to. I'd tell you the truth because I'm not going to lie to you.
Right. Okay, you know what?
So, I'm not going to lie.
If we get a radio program, I will be live for the whole freaking hour.
But we have a radio program.
This is a podcast.
That's all radio programs are these days. The radio programs, by their definition, are radio, not camera. So you're not on camera. You're killing me, knucklehead. I was trying to sneak that one through. I saw how that goes.
That was so close.
It's like close but no cigar. Oh, you're killing me over here, one. Anyway, I needed that. So, yeah, I just wanted to pass that on. That it's been told to me, not like I didn't need to know again. That Miss Cutie over here.
Oh, thanks, Faye.
Well, partly it's just practical because it's weird for me to be talking off camera. We're having a conversation with the voice of God, essentially, and that's just weird. Now the podcast is fine because
that's my secret.
Because the people on the podcast don't know. For the people on the podcast, they're just listening to it, and so it doesn't matter.
Yes.
But for people who watch it on video, it's just a strange experience if you're watching, because you're watching me talk in profile to you.
And I appreciate that.
If anything, they want me to be like this, but anyway.
But then they couldn't see your hair.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Anyway, it's something to contemplate as we move forward. But I figured, we first getting you just to ask the questions for Daily Dose was the first step. And now we've got you here having full-on discussions, carrying half of the show. And did you think that was possible, 3 months ago when we started this journey?
No.
No. You've grown quite far starting this journey.
Oh, thanks,
you actually called yourself talent earlier.
I was kidding. I was messing with you. I just to give some background on that, little joke comment right there. A joke. I come in at the last. I breeze in at the last minute, and then he's setting up, and I'm like, "Hey, what?" And I'm sitting here bored. So, being the wiseacre that I am, I said, hey, the talent shouldn't have to come in. The talent should be able to just walk in. You should be set. You should have the microphone check done. Yeah. How come I'm sitting here waiting? I'm the talent.
Yeah, because you're sitting there waiting because you ain't doing nothing. That's why you're sitting there. There's lots to do. Someone could remember to post to the Patreon page, which we didn't do.
Uh-oh.
No, I've posted to the live stream to the Patreon. It would have been public. It's not a big deal. We don't have any actual subscribers, so we don't know anybody anything yet.
Okay.
But I've got to get the Patreon page is turned on, and if anybody wants to go to patreon.com/late night love, you can go and join us. It's $3 for discussion to get access to chat with Lovey eventually when we get it set up this week.
Yes, indeed.
Then we got $6 a month if you want to get access to the Daily Dose, that access to Lovey, plus the Daily Dose videos released at either as soon as I make them, or when they drop. I have them made on the same time as the. Anyway, you get the access to the Daily Dose videos early access to the Daily Dose videos, and maybe a 24 hours, 48-hour access to the Daily Dose. We haven't exactly figured out what early access that level is going to get, but probably the videos, the Daily Dose videos, instead of having to go to the podcast. But I also don't like, that's a hard decision. Anyway, and then you go for $20 a month, you get all the other benefits plus access to the live streams we do when we create the Daily Dose episodes, and we have some fun and some banter. That's a loose office work. That's
God. We're
polished here compared to those.
Yeah,
this is a polished program show, outlined and everything, compared to the streams we do when we do the Daily Dose things. Those are chaos because it's just
chaos. They are not. I'm in charge of those.
They're just. Well, because they're just recording sessions. They're not really planned streams. And
you, by the time I get you for those, you have the attention span of a gnat.
Well, because those require the attention span of a gnat. I'm bouncing from subject to subject. You have to have an open mind. You have to be able to in literally seconds.
I was giving you a hard time. My God.
Yeah, well, anyway. So if you want to hear more of this type of banter, you can catch us on the live stream. So, which we chased away Gail. We chased Gail away. Anyway, Gail's going to bed. We've got 5 minutes left. So what do you got for the last 5 minutes of the show, Lem?
Okay. Let's just breeze through quickly these other three. In this 5 traits of all unhappy marriages and how to overcome them. Number 3 is they don't prioritize relationship rituals. New experiences are everything to a relationship, but pleasure can be found in the mundane. For example, when you meet at the kitchen table every Saturday to read the real estate section, or the fact that no matter how late the bedtime routine goes with the kids, you always unwind together to a 20-minute rerun of Schitt's Creek side by side.
Oh, well, okay. So
that's very cute. So
we probably don't need to read the whole thing.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying.
Lasting love is so the fix is lasting love is fed by little everyday moments of connection
Yes, it's just honor the little things. I think we do that quite well, actually. We honor the little things. We take our joy in what many people would consider little things.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we actually do that very well.
I think we do too.
That's one of our relationship strengths, not a weakness for us. Honor the little things, and we're always kind of constantly, very slowly, we push ourselves and we grow, and we're constantly evolving. And we're always encouraging each other to do it, while at the same time enjoying the mundane and the routine things we do. We have our daily routines, and we follow them. And I'm not a routine person, and we don't do it. It's not routine by time, but we have our daily moments, and
we have our daily moment throughout the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's actually one of the greatest things about getting to do with this. We get to continue if we make a world of this, and we only need 100 of you at $20 a month to make this, be able to do this full time and turn it into a real thing. So, but that's one of the nice things is we get to do that together. We get to do it more.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so what we got now?
Number 4, they never spend quality time apart. Yeah. So, quick fix. Okay, so wait a minute. It says up here, you love the time your partner spends playing video games, but for some reason you're always sitting side by side cheering them on. The fix is to stop faking a passion for your partner's hobbies and prioritize time apart that nurtures your sense of self.
Yeah, we did that a long time ago. We learned that a long time ago. You try things out, and if it's not for you, then you say, okay, it's not for you. No one has expectations. It's nice if they enjoy your same hobbies, but if you don't,
I could never get into the baseball thing, and I always felt really bad about it.
But why would you? You're not into computer games or baseball. Why would you? Yeah, just because you like the history of baseball doesn't mean you like baseball.
I love the history of baseball. We're watching Ken Burns baseball at night, and we're only on Series 7. There's 10. Yeah, we have 3 more to go.
Yeah, but you like the history of baseball.
I love the history of baseball. I love baseball. I love going and seeing a live game.
And you like watching the playoffs on TV, but you don't give a rat's patootie about any of the players or what they do or what their stats are.
No, I really don't. I really don't care. I don't get that far into it.
It's the individual drama of the game. So you don't have
yes.
So baseball isn't the hobby, it's the drama of the individuals, of the individual event.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's
and there's a lot of drama there to be had.
Yeah. Especially in the playoffs and the postseason. That's a lot of drama because you can see that the players care more, and you share the inner emotion is what's cool about the playoffs. It's not that the games are necessarily better; it's that you actually can feel, in a sense, the emotion that those players have. Many of them. We've been searching that. What was the greatest moment of the World Series we watched this year? It wasn't even the last game. It wasn't even the final game. The team didn't even win. But it's team one. That kid off the last guy on the bench who literally thought he was only there to pinch run, but he gets a chance to hit and he hits that home run and won the game.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
he was a 12-year-old boy. Pure glee. Pure glee.
Yeah, it's pure 12-year-old boys. This whole team was 12-year-old boys at that moment. And then you got it again when the other team won the World Series the next night. But they were just a bunch of 12-year-old boys. 12, and that pure kind of joy, the childhood spirit. It's a wonderful thing when you get to see it. And, I think it's why we all watch. It's the human drama. So, anyway, so what's the last one?
Last one. They fight more than they get along. Like we said, fights are par for the course. But the compelling predictor of whether couples stay together is the ratio of positive to negative interactions. And the fix is, now you're going to love this, make a commitment together to bring a bit more levity to your daily interactions by laughing about the minor squabbles versus holding a grudge.
Well, okay, that's just make a commitment. Yeah. Well, I mean, in a sense, that's true. I mean, there's nothing actually untrue about that statement, but that's a whole mindset shift that you have to have. You're having essentially two people with a bad mindset, and you're both going to have to change it in order for that to work. One person can't do that kind of thing. If you're in a relationship that's arguing all the time, one person changing their mindset isn't going to do it. You both have to make the commitment to do it. And that's a lot of self-work. That's a lot of in-here work.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of biting your tongue and changing your instinct.
Yes. It's a lot of biting your tongue.
As you relearn what your reactions are going to be. Retraining your actions is possible. It's not hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's not technically hard, but it's difficult to follow through.
It's difficult to do. It takes time.
It takes time.
It takes a couple weeks.
At least.
Yeah. To set in, what is it? It takes 2 to set in a new behavior.
It's going to take a long time.
But it's going to take longer than that first. If you're taking slips into account, because you're going to have some slips, but you got to get back on that horse.
And it depends how ingrained that nature is of you. Because it's not just changing your habit. You've got a personality trait that you've ingrained for a long time. You probably picked that up. Didn't pick it up last week. You probably picked it up a decade ago, maybe from your family. How in the hell are you going to change that overnight? You're not.
Yeah.
It's not even going to change over 2 weeks. So that's a long-term commitment. Now, if you're in a marriage or a long-term committed relationship, then you got the rest of your life, get to work. So it's fine. But don't pretend that just
change my behavior.
Yeah, just commit to change your behavior. Yeah, that's the start of the journey. Yeah. But that's a lot of mental work of retraining your brain to reinterpret input. You've got, clearly, if you're arguing all the time, your input becomes either defensive or anger. Your instinct, when something goes wrong, your instinctive reaction is anger or defensiveness. And so if you get angry or defensive, then you're not going to have a productive conversation. You're starting off from the wrong spot. So it's that initial reaction you have to change. How the hell do you do that? It's just a lot of introspection, a lot of figuring out why you react that way. And then just biting your tongue and ignoring the initial reaction and then coming up with the rational one. And over time, the rational one becomes the initial reaction more and more often. But there ain't nothing easy about it. It takes a lot of work, a lot of mental effort, a lot of mental energy. But ultimately, it makes you a better you, it makes your relationship a better relationship, it makes the world a better world, and that's what we all want. We all want the world to be a better world, so we can be our best self. And I think that's our journey of love. I think we found our river of love tonight. We've hit the exit. We found our river, and we'll send you off down your leg of the journey of love. Be kind to each other. Enjoy the time with the friends and family you do get to spend with this week. And from us here at Late Night Love, from me and Lubby, please remember, love everybody, and good night.